going on, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Vic, here back at you with the next lesson in this land investing thing that I love to do, that I love to share that info with you guys with. Before I get into it, as always, number one, let me know if you can hear me and you can see me okay. I don't know why Facebook always does something weird with my audio. So I just want to make sure that the settings are good. Whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching the replay, let me know if you can hear me okay. But with that, we're going to get started because today is a big one. I'm going to talk about and share with you all the different secrets I have when it comes to the three key secrets to success in this business. Um, it's not always easy for me to talk about some of these things because I had to actually learn these the hard way, if that makes sense. Now, before I get into it, let me share a story with you guys. All right. Some of the story you already know. So you already know from if you actually gave me your email and you actually saw the intro video and how I do land investing with my escape velocity strategy. You understand some of the story. So just to recap, in 2018, I left my job. Got tired of the bullshit, middle fingers in the air. I left. But what I didn't tell you is what I did after that. Now, you may know, again, from my story that I had a lot of credit card debt. But the thing is, I didn't have that credit card debt when I left. I accumulated all of that debt after quitting my job. And the reason why I did that, well, one of the secrets I want to share with you. Now, during the time between 2018, so 2018 of November, I quit on my birthday. I'm born November 4th, 1981. So let that be a lesson. If you want to give me some gifts, I ain't gonna be mad at you. But around that time, so around the holidays, things are cool. And I thought it's funny. I was doing the land investing thing, but I was kind of slowing down. And the reason why I was slowing down before I said I wasn't sure, well, it was just a lot of misconceptions I had about myself, about what money should be, how I wanted to make money, and all these other things that kind of led me down the wrong path. But I wouldn't say I was completely wrong in the fact that I didn't go out and like sell drugs or nothing stupid like that. What I did was I took a course on how to do sales. Now at the time I'm like, well, I can apply these lessons to my land investing, but I can also use it to sell other things, high ticket items and things like that. Basically, I was going to sell other people's like make money online courses or other forms of real estate or whatever it is. Basically, when there's a lot of money on the line, it takes a certain mindset that is very easily learned that you will need to help you actually do the job properly. So after going through that training, it was I think it was 8 weeks, 8 weeks. So one night a week for about 4 hours plus, I'm on a virtual live training and I'm learning these techniques. And I'm learning a lot of good stuff and I got really excited. And then part of that training was actually practicing and role playing the sales calls and things like that. And I learned a lot of good stuff. And within that, I'm like, okay, well, let me try to sell somebody else's stuff so I can make a little money. And that sucked and it bombed because not only were they not paying anything, but it was a lot more work than I was used to doing. I'm like, all right, well, so I did that for a month and quit that. And then I'm like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a book. And I wrote a book. And the book is at Amazon now. It's called Get Off the Bench. And I basically talk about my adventures in land investing, me as a AAU basketball coach. This is my program, San Francisco Champions, probably the best AAU basketball program around. And so I talk about that and all the things I like to teach my younger players and my experience as a basketball player and how I've learned how to gain success in certain areas, namely land investing and all that. But, while I'm really glad I wrote the book and I think there's a lot of good information in it, that wasn't really it for me. Not a lot of people care about the book, and I didn't care about it. Once I was done writing it, I didn't really care about it either. I was just glad to have it out and have something I can show my kids. Hey, your daddy wrote a book. Now, back then, when I was doing this, I didn't want to admit this to myself, but I had an issue that I tried to get into to affiliate marketing, and I've spent a lot of money on training because I was no stranger to investing in myself. But this training was a little substandard, and I also didn't attack it the way I should have attacked it. So now I'm in a hole $10,000 to $15,000, which back then wasn't that big a deal because usually I was doing land at a job, but without that extra income and me not doing land, it was sitting. And to help myself write that book, I did another course that was like 20 or 15 to $20,000, so I can learn how to write a book. I got some FaceTime with some very powerful entrepreneurs. I got some a whole personal development retreat with the whole thing. It was a lot that I got with that money, and but at the same time, I wasn't focused. I didn't have the drive or the vision or anything I needed to actually succeed. So what did I do? Well, I thought, well, I got learned all these things. I did all these seminars. I bought all these courses. I have all this information. Why don't I start coaching people? I enjoy coaching. I coach basketball. Why not coach the entrepreneur thing? I quit my job already. I wasn't making any money. And, with the practice I got selling expensive items from that one course and some of the confidence I built from the personal development, I was able to find a couple clients. And I did help them do their specific goal. But because I didn't position myself to be somebody that's like, hey, I can help with a specific thing, I'm like, I can help anybody with anything. Obviously, you're not talking to anybody in that situation. You're not going to get much there. And then that's when my mom was murdered. So 2019 was a whirlwind of not making any money. I lost my grandmother earlier, so we had to pay funeral expenses for that. Then my mother's murdered. And yeah, you guys know that part. March 2020, I have to have a sobering look in the mirror and be like, what the hell am I doing? I left a very high paying job as a software engineer so I can sit around at home and be miserable, pretend to be successful. And that's when I started to realize, like, wait, I have a high income skill. Why am I not using it? That high income skill was land investing. And no, everything I'd done in the past when it came to entrepreneurship, hell, even my regular 9 to 5 jobs, I kind of did half-ass. Well, I wouldn't say half-ass. It's just I want to do things my way. And there's other times I want to do other things. I couldn't do that. And because of that, I never got consistent results because I wasn't consistent myself. So with that said, once I jumped back into land investing, I like this time it's going to be different. I am no longer willing to tolerate this life. Having my wife look me in the eye and I can't look her back because I feel like a failure. Having my kids or me not being able to provide for my kids in what they deserve because I want to play in my comfort zone. Sitting at home being upset that things didn't work out in my favor even though I didn't give everything that I could to do so. And so when I say I rediscovered these secrets, it was in this dark time, dealing with the grief of my passing mother, feeling like a failure, not being the person I know I can be, is when I had to look deep at these lessons and really take hold of them. And I want to share these with you because once I did that, everything took off for me. So, first, there's 3 secrets I'm going to share. And the first one, secret number 1, write this down. Honesty. More so honesty with myself, but obviously honesty with those you're dealing with. Now, I had to be honest in a few ways. Number 1, I didn't have all the answers. I had to stop pretending that I did. Number 2, I had to be honest with myself of what I was able to do and how I was able to make money. If it was up to me, I'd be like, I just want to sit on the couch, play video games, play some hoop, work out a little bit, and do nothing all day. Maybe work on my car, whatever. That's not how I'm going to make money, at least not right now. And because I wasn't, quote unquote, following my passion, I wasn't actually seeing the beauty of this business, land investing, how simple it can be and how it can actually lead me to those things, my passions, because it doesn't take a lot of my time. My day consists of talking to a few people, calling them back, people who are looking to sell me property, calling back people who are looking to buy property from me, maybe doing some due diligence. I talked about that last week, I believe, where you just make sure I can buy the property legally without any headaches or anything like that. And then transferring properties, just pushing paper. I do this less than part-time. Oh, it's all good, Dom. Don't worry about being late. I'm going to my first secret right now. So I was doing it less than part-time. But at the time, I wasn't really seeing the beauty of that. I was just saying like, hey, I'm not on the beach sipping Mai Tais like these fake-ass Instagram folks are. And then I also learned that shit's all bullshit too. So, you live and you learn. But anyways, I have to be honest with myself. Like, hey, what I'm doing now just ain't working. So what could I do to actually live the life that I wanted to live, incorporating this land investing business. So I have to be honest with that. And honestly, I wanted to make a lot of money, but it wasn't just for the fact of having money. There's a lot of impact I want to have on the world. I want to have that in my family. I want to have it in my community, especially the black community. I want to be able to do all these things. And when I started to list those things out and be honest what was really important to me, certain priorities that I thought was at the top kind of dropped the list, and other things that were either not on the list or at the bottom moved up. That allowed me to kind of schedule myself in my day and kind of reprioritize how I go around about everything. And because of that, it also gave me a new sense of focus and direction that I didn't have before. See, before when I'm just kind of aimlessly trying things and dabbling and had that shiny object syndrome, it was no wonder I wasn't making any money because I didn't really put my heart and soul into anything. And I thought back then to put my heart and soul into it, it had to be something I really enjoyed doing. No, I had to have a vision of what I was trying to achieve, where I was going. The vehicle didn't matter. In this case, it was land investing. And the funny thing is, once you start to use that vehicle in a way that's helping you achieve those goals, whatever those goals are, you start to get not just an appreciation for the business, but you start to get a passion for it. It's kind of funny how that works. I thought like I had to have a passion beforehand to make money from it. It's the other way. It can work the other way around too. In fact, a lot of times the things that we are passionate about, we should just leave them as hobbies because then if we make money off of them, guess what? Now they become jobs and become chores. So being honest with myself was key. And also I have to be honest, like, look, man, I'm sitting in my comfort zone and I'm wondering why I'm not getting shit. It turned out all the shit I really wanted was outside of my comfort zone. So I had to learn how to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's stretching myself, doing things I didn't like so much, actually trying new things, putting myself in positions where I'm forced to either put up or shut up. Without that honesty with myself, I wouldn't have gotten that position. I wouldn't be here. Now, let me know in the comments whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay. When have you not been honest with yourself? What type of things have you not been honest about to yourself? Maybe you're not honest about your fitness level or the direction life is headed or that you have a plan in life and in reality that you don't. Put that in the comments below because these things are important to start being honest with yourself. It doesn't matter what you're going to apply it to. It could be like you may think you're the best boyfriend or husband or wife or girlfriend or whatever, but in reality, you realize that you're falling short. There are things that you used to do early in a relationship that you're no longer doing. Or there are things that you know your spouse would really want or really need support from and you're not providing that support. My fears and my real dreams. That's where you're falling short. I feel you, Elbry. I feel you. I was doing the same thing. I was falling short there too because I was afraid to really try because I'm the one talking this big bad game. I'm the one that quote unquote quit my job, but I'm struggling at home. So being afraid of that reality of what that really meant actually prevented me from putting myself in those uncomfortable situations that I had to learn later on. So I appreciate you guys sharing. So again, the more honest we are with ourselves, sure it may be uncomfortable in that moment, but once we understand that, we can use that feeling because all that feeling is just feedback of what's really going on inside. So if you're uncomfortable about a certain thought or a certain emotion or something going on, it's just your life saying, hey, you just need to make a little adjustment. And once you make that adjustment, this feeling will go away. Now, the challenges for a lot of us, our fears are bigger than our desires. So we are comfortable with that feeling of you fill in the blank. And because of that, that becomes our new normal. And that becomes our comfort zone. I feel you, Kim. Deep down, I think I fear success. I've been there too because for some people, when you succeed, you have this image in your mind of what success looks like and how others are going to perceive you and how you're going to perceive yourself and are you going to change and the life you have is easy and it's comfortable and I'm used to it and I know I'd rather deal with the devil I know than the devil I don't know. But then you're in this quiet life of desperation, wanting more. But you don't want it bad enough to actually break the patterns that you're breaking. You see the patterns, you see them, you understand them, but you're like, damn it, why can't I break through? And you think there's some kind of glass ceiling, or a glass wall. And in reality, it's just you holding yourself back. Same thing with you, Austin. No matter what it is, It's all a matter of perception. But you won't understand that perception unless you get honest with yourself. When you're honest with yourself and you have these tough conversations, you realize it's not as bad as you think. And through all of my failures, I realized they weren't failures. I can look at them as failures, and I can look at them as the end of the road and the end of the world and everything is falling down around me. Or I can see them as what they really are, feedback. Basically, the results I was getting in life was not what I wanted. And that ties back to decisions I was making months ago. But again, honesty with yourself and what you truly want. Not what others want for you, not what you feel you should want, but what you really want. Because you may not want to be a millionaire. You may just want to be comfortable. You want to use a lot of that money to help your community. You may want to use a lot of money to help your family. You may want to use a lot of the money to just, buy a swimming pool and be good with that because you love to swim. I don't know. You tell me. But you got to be honest with yourself. Once you're honest with yourself, you can start to build that life in a way that resonates with you and the values that you have inside. Once you're doing that, you're going to be having real success. The next secret is consistency. Systems can help with this, but consistency. Now, back when I was broke, I was only trying every now and then. Back when I was doing land investing as a side thing, I wasn't consistently looking to buy property. Back when I was just in general, I wasn't, let's say, even my basketball playing days, I wasn't consistently working on my game. Sure, it'll be a couple times a week, and that seems pretty good for whether it's basketball, looking for property, or whatever it is. But it wasn't every day. And it was no wonder the business was ebbing and flowing, right? There'd be times that things are great, and then it'll go back down because of that lack of consistency. Now, when I started to reapproach this business every day, and just to let you know, in this business, every day you want to be mailing, you want to be marketing. And when I say mailing, that's just contacting people in general, because the more people you contact to buy property, the more chances you are going to have to buy something, not just buy something, but buy something at a price that you're willing to pay, right? So I had a client who recently decided he didn't want to do land investing. He didn't get success right away. However, out of all the people he could have contacted with, he probably only really communicated with 30 people. And these weren't 30 people within the same area. They were scattered throughout the country. And because he didn't get that success, he didn't have the consistency. Well, what else was he doing during that time? Well, he did have other priorities, but priorities are what we make them to be. So if certain other things are more important than land investing, then obviously that is going to fail. Sometimes we have problems with consistency because we allow other people's dreams and other people's demands and other people's emergencies become our dreams, our demands, our emergencies. And so now the things that we're looking for in life, we're not going to achieve them because we're doing somebody else's shit. However, when you are consistent, not just with your actions, but with your beliefs, with your value system, you are consistent. So every day you do not compromise on the non-negotiables. And the non-negotiables for me, I read every day, I write or journal every day, I drink a lot of water, I usually work out every day, and I do this business every day. When you don't negotiate on those non-negotiables and you put yourself first, success will come. Again, a lot of the results I have now are direct reflection from decisions I made a couple months ago, for good and the bad. So some bad results are results of me not contacting as often as I should, or not really looking at the information that's presented to me and making a great decision because I just wanted to kind of bury my head in the sand. But other times, put myself in there, put myself out there, I get a lot more, I really, just dig deep. Then I actually make great decisions, and that helps me to succeed. So every day, you should be mailing, you should be marketing. So trying to contact new people to buy property, marketing your property in different areas, bumping your ads on Craigslist, following up with people. So anytime someone says, hey, I'm interested in that property, make sure you follow up with them. Like, hey, did you check it out? Hey, did you see these resources I have available? Hey, if this one isn't available, or excuse me, this one isn't right for you, what are you looking for in a property that would be right for you? Though you talk to those people, these sales come quickly. That's how I can sell so fast. It's not because I have some magical pot of gold and sales just happen. No, I got to work for it. But the beautiful thing is I'm not swinging a hammer in the hot sun. I don't have no pickaxe in my hand. I'm not doing physical labor. So it's hard, but it ain't hard. My body's not going to be aching at the end of my workday. So once you put it in perspective, it makes things easier to stay there. And then with that consistency, you got a TTP, trust the process, baby. Understand that you may not see the results right now, but they're coming. And you keep working towards it. And not only that, you're going to build up that, um, what's the word, that compound interest. So in the comments, let me know, have you ever heard of that scenario when someone says, hey, what would you rather take, $3 million, or if I gave you a penny and doubled that amount every day for a month? You can only pick one, the other, the 3 million or the penny, compounded every day for a month. Have you ever heard that? Let me know in the comments, whether it's live or whether it's a replay. Just in case you haven't heard this, a lot of people instinctively would take the 3 million or the 5 million. But if you were to take that penny, on day one of the month, and then day two of the month it becomes 2 cents, and then day three of the month it becomes 4 cents, and then day four becomes 8, and then 16, then 32, and then 64 cents, and then $1.28, and so on. By the end of the month, you will have around 6 million, I believe. I can't remember the math. Yes, you heard it, Kim. Yeah. Always take the compound. We say that all the time, don't we? But how often do we do it in life? That's the consistency I'm talking about. Understanding that right now, it's only a penny. It's only talking to 3 people. It's only putting out 20 offers out there. It's only having 1 or 2 ads for a property. But then because it's only the penny, it's the 2 cents, it's the 4 cents, we stop. And that's all we're left with 4 cents. And we're like, oh, this shit don't work. I've said that myself many times. But then here I am watching somebody else succeed with the same exact information, and the same exact everything, except they chose to stick it out. They chose to run with it. I chose to cut my losses early, and I'm wondering why I ain't making no money back then. Consistency. Trust the process. I guarantee you, things will happen. Now, so far, is this making sense? Let me know if this is making sense. I know I'm getting a little deeper than my normal tactics. I'm getting into more the overall philosophy of what I teach. But if this is making sense to me, let you guys, whether it's live or in the comments, let me know. All right. The third secret. Now, this is a big one. It's community. And what I mean by community is that when I was doing things in my own in 2018 and 2019, I suffered because I was trying to do it on my own. It is very rare, it may even be impossible to succeed by yourself. You're always going to have somebody to help you, no matter what it is, whether it's a spouse or a sibling to just, mentally encourage you, whether it's a mentor to show you the ropes, whether it's another colleague that's just working with you. You guys are working side by side, even if it's on 2 different businesses, but you guys are, showing each other how this is done, and you're putting in the work, and it's like having a workout buddy. Like, yeah, you can work out on your own, but it's hard to really push yourself when you're by yourself. Why? Because you don't have a spotter. Like when I'm working out here at the house, I may be doing bench, but I can't go all out because if I make a mistake or if I just don't have the energy to push that weight back up, I don't have any help and I can end up, hurting myself. So I can't go as hard. It's the same in your business. If you don't have a community to help uplift you and help support you, you are not going to succeed. Or maybe you can against all odds, but damn it ain't going to be a fun ride if you don't have that support system. And that support system there's different layers to it, right? You do have your friends and family who are not trying to make any extra money. They're not going to understand you, but they at least love you enough to be like, hey, I understand this is important to you. I understand that you see the bigger picture. I don't see it, but whatever. I'm going to support you, right? And some may support you by being a dick and be like, you ain't going to make it. And, they know you're like Jordan, where you're like, that's when I took it personal. And you succeed in spite of them, but still. Then, as I said, you got those other people who are also colleagues in the game, and you guys are sharing information and knowledge, right? But that only happens when you're with other people who have an abundance mentality, not people who are scarce-minded and we're like, oh shit, I can't tell him my secret. He might steal what I got. Dumb thinking. That's not how shit works. It's funny. You know why we get this way? At least in my opinion, we get this way because in school we are taught don't cheat, don't look at that person's test, don't try to steal the answers. But in business, that's not how shit works. You're supposed to look at other people's answers. You're supposed to see how they did it. You're supposed to ask them questions of what's going on. Even if you can't ask them directly, you can be a consumer of a product. You can try things out. You can just study from afar. Like this Facebook group together. You think I'm the first person to have a Facebook group or a Facebook group on land investing? No, I'm seeing what was successful for other people if they want to share a message that was powerful and how they did it. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm stealing. I'm sharing. I'm giving you the answers to the test. But then because we're so used to trying to do things on our own, a lot of us early on, we like, I don't need anybody. I got this. I can't trust nobody anyway. Hell, especially in the black community, we don't trust nobody. Trust nobody. And we wonder why our people can't overcome sometimes because we can't even trust ourselves to work together. But we do this often in business. So you need community. Again, so you have, your friends and family, you got other colleagues, and you also have coaches and mentors who's going to show you the ropes. Who's like, look, man, I got burnt doing this. Don't do that. Hey, I just found this great secret. It's working well for me. Apply this right away so you don't have to waste any time. Hey, you know what? You need to think bigger. You're thinking too small. I see the roadblocks ahead of you, and you're not actually living up to your full potential. That's what coaching does. That's what a colleague does. That's what a community does for you. Now, I got some ideas on how to build a stronger community, but I will share that next week. But I said there was three things, three secrets. I'm gonna give you one bonus one before we end this because we're just about done. But that fourth secret, the bonus secret, is tracking. What is not tracked or what is not measured cannot be improved upon. No matter what you're doing, especially early on, you're not going to be world class in the beginning. I mean, you don't need to be world class, but early on, you're going to suck. You're a newbie, you're a rookie. You ain't going to be able to do it. So, what you need to start to do, or I take that back. What I invite you to do, you can do what you want. It's your life. It's your business. If you're getting the results you want to do with that. If you want to change your results, maybe try what I'm suggesting. But start to track everything. Now, if you don't have a land investing business yet, or you're just starting, just track your expenses right now. Just what you're spending money on bills, fund money, food, all that. Just track that, and just see where your money is going, right? And start to look at your bank account because a lot of times we tend not to look at it because we don't want to be depressed by the number. All right, we kind of like want to just be like, yeah, I'm making my money. So far, no one's complained that checks are bouncing or credit cards are defaulting or anything like that. I think I'm all right. But then you don't realize how close you are to poverty. One missed paycheck, one medical emergency, and now you're screwed. You start to look at that. You start tracking your expenses and all that. You'll start to understand that, and you'll actually improve your bank account. Same thing goes with your land investing. See how many people you actually talk to today or in the month. See how many inquiries you have for a property you have listed, and then make adjustment based on the amount of inquiries. See what those inquiries are saying. What are people asking about the property? Is there a feature that this property doesn't have that maybe everybody's asking for? So now in the future, you can go after properties that are more likely to sell much faster because they have the things that people want, right? If you don't measure and you don't track these things, you're not going to improve. If you're not going to improve, your life is going to flatline. You're going to stay where you are, okay? But the more things you can track, the better. You ain't got to be like NBA analytics on it and start getting some ridiculous ideas like only three-pointers and layups and that bullshit like that. But the point is, you got to start to track that to understand where you are because that tracking kind of goes back to the first point of honesty, being honest with yourself. You may think you're doing okay, but you're lying to yourself the way I used to lie to myself. So track, understand, see those numbers, and it's like, shit, I got to make a change. Or you know what, things are great. I have to keep this path because I'm on my way to the goals I have stated for myself. Now, here we go. As you can see, we're about out of time. And you can see how basically, all the things I've done definitely helped me minimize frustration. And in 2020, it brought me a lot of success. That's how I have the time and the energy and the motivation to share this information with you. Um, but I have a question and an assignment for you guys. Why don't you guys tell me in the comments below, what financial goals did you set for yourself this year? And then have you started taking any steps, baby steps, towards those financial goals? Anything, right? Now, if you're like most people who set like a New Year's resolution, you probably quit maybe 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to extend an invitation for you. If you would like me to help you with these financial goals, when it comes to land investing in particular, I want you to put in the comments below, let's get to work, right? If you are ready to roll up your sleeves and start chasing this paper for real, put in the comments below, let's get to work. I will contact you. I will let you know exactly how we can work together, because next week I'm going to unveil what I've been working on throughout this whole month of January. I've taken everything that I've done from last year to now with clients, the things I've learned and all of that, and I've actually put in an easier to understand and digestible format. And obviously it has those 3 secrets I was talking about. It's all built in, including community, because that's going to be the biggest key to your success. So if you're ready to do that, go ahead, let's get to work. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get this paper. But I'm looking forward to February because I feel some of you guys are ready for this. But with that, it's Coach Vic. I really appreciate you guys' time. I know I'm 2 minutes over. If you guys are watching a replay, let me know if this was valuable information to you. If you find this valuable, please share it. I know you have to have them join the group for you to share the message, but have them join the group. The more we share this, the better, right? This now we can all eat. It doesn't matter if I have this information and hoard it to myself. I want to share it. That's why I started this group. So other than that, looking forward. Nice. I like what I see, Austin. You're almost there. I love that. I love that. Austin has a pretty nice goal, and he's almost there, looking to surpass his goal. He's already there. I love that. I love that. Keep that up. Keep that up. This is the type of stuff I want to see. I want to see more wins in the group. All right. But other than that, it's your boy Coach Vic signing out. Regulate.